Well, I'm fundamentally independent. So from my point of view, I speak for and advocate on behalf of the children with no voice. So I consistently call out government. Everyone doesn't do that. And some people simply aren't in a position to because they're working within a framework that government provides. But at the end of the day, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to work this out. And the government from the coalition, have begun peeling back services. I mean, knife crime is at an all-time high. There's an epidemic around mental health, health and well-being and critical issues that set the context of a child's life. I heard earlier on the programme them talking about county lines. There's the digital tsunami, which actually reaches people in places it wouldn't have reached before. It allows coercive control to take place and over young people who are then blackmailed once they've been seduced or groomed into a situation to do things they never would. So we've got this toxic environment that is actually accelerating harm for our children and young people. So rather than stripping back resources, because what we do when we do reviews and we carry out reviews is we try and rearrange the deck chairs to make it look like we're doing something. So to tell the public, yes, this is never going to happen again. We're going to look at it. It will happen again. No matter what we do and no matter how good we get at it, this will happen again because manipulative and malign, malevolent parents behind the four walls of their house will do what they want, and they will long-arm social services. They will long-arm the police. And if you even look at the interview of the stepmom when police turned up after the child had been fatally wounded, after Arthur had been brutally assaulted, she was still minimizing, self-justifying and blaming everyone else. He was on the listening step. He threw himself off. He bashed his head 5 times. When you're dealing with that type of person, then you've got a real problem because you're not getting direct line of sight. You're having to deal with someone who's extremely practiced in lying. Predators that I've met and seen throughout my career, whether they're pedophiles, child abusers in the home or elsewhere, they are brilliant liars, and they lie best of all and first of all to themselves. That's how they're able to get away with these things for as long as they do.
With cases like this, you think there must be neighbours, relatives, friends, teachers, someone somewhere who must have thought, well, it's funny how often that little boy's injured, or I haven't seen that little boy for a while. As members of the public, if we did have suspicions about the life circumstances and safety of a child that we know, what can we do to act on it?
Well, you need to phone your local children's social care. You need to engage with the police or anyone that you can, and you need to be absolutely consistent in your persistence. If something tells you that something's wrong, if you've got a gut feeling where you think that child is at risk, phoning once might not be good enough because the police might be fooled when they turn up at the door and mom or dad says, no, have a look, at little Arthur, he's fine. What you've got to do is you've got to be consistent and persistent, because the nature of this type of work means that it's going to happen and it's going to keep on happening and it's likely to escalate. So people very often in the houses next door will have their suspicions, and a lot of the time those suspicions won't come into the public glare until after something has happened. In this case, we need to know what actually happened, because the school did contact the stepmom and the family and say, look, we're worried, Arthur's not at school. And ultimately, they were told, well, no, he's fine. He's in the back garden, he's playing, worried about COVID, lockdown acts as a screen. And of course, how far do you push that? The thing that I would say is, when you're in doubt, get up, knock the door, cross the threshold. If you turn up unannounced to say, just call in to check, to see how he is, and you are long-armed from the door and your sense of concern is then heightened, then you've got more evidence to go and say, look, I've tried to see the child and I've been pushed back. But you've got to be persistent. And I'm not saying that family members weren't in this case. That needs to be looked at. But if you're a member of the public and you've got a concern about a child, remember that things can go wrong. Don't assume somebody else is dealing with it.